What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Dante King, and today we're going to be starting a new food review series called Eat Like a King. Now, in this series, I'm going to be going to my favorite restaurants in the San Diego area and then rate them on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst food I've ever had and 10 being the best. You have to go see it. Now, I'll rate the restaurants in 2 different categories, the atmosphere and food taste. And then I'll take just sort of like an average between the 2 categories, and then that'll be the restaurant's final score. So if you guys like this content and want me to keep making more of it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Alright guys, so the restaurant I chose to eat at is called Tumeric Thai Garden, and it's a Thai home food place that serves all of the standard Thai cuisines. It's located in a neighborhood near the top of Mount Soledad, and if you wanted to get lunch there during the week, they're open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and again from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner. If you wanted to eat there on the weekend, they're also open from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. They have a $2 sign rating on Google, meaning that you will be spending about $12 to $20 per person for the meal. And I mean, for the location, that's not that bad. They also offer indoor and outdoor patio seating, as well as the option to take out food.
Let's get into the atmosphere of the restaurant. Being tucked away in a secluded neighborhood, you get a sense of tranquility from the moment you step out of the car. Parking is extremely easy and adds to the restaurant's feel of a break from the hustle and bustle of daily life. As you walk up to the restaurant, you're greeted by a plain sign stating the name of the restaurant, which further adds to the feel of the getaway. And now, stepping inside the restaurant, we were asked if we wanted to sit indoors or outdoors. The inside seating arrangement features only polished wooden tables and chairs. The color scheme is slightly strange, with one wall being colored muted red and another wall displaying beige tiles. And while the decoration inside feels uncoordinated, it's obvious that all the effort went into the outside dining area. The outside is patio-like and features strings of warm-colored lights dangling over the entire area. There are lots of potted and hanging plants, with a giant sprawling tree in the middle. Like the inside, the tabletops and seats are made of wood. One noticeable addition, though, is that there is a waterfall located by the tree in the middle. The restaurant does not play any music, so the sound of the waterfall is evident wherever you are seated outside. The sound of the waterfall complements the green plants and the dim warm lights beautifully. All of these elements combined to make me feel like I was relaxing in a secluded park rather than a restaurant. On top of the visual and auditory elements, the restaurant nails its authenticity with its menu and staff. The servers are all of Asian descent, and when I asked them what protein I should choose for my dish, they suggested the meat that is eaten the most by Thai people. The menu covers all of the staple foods that Thai people eat, including curry, seafood, and noodles. And overall, just the atmosphere and authenticity of Tumeric Thai is refreshing and blissful. However, the inside could use some renovation, so I will give it a 9 out of 10 in this category. Moving on to the food, I ordered the crispy spring rolls as an appetizer, and the pad see ew and drunken noodles for my entrees. The spring rolls came out perfectly fried, with a crunchy, light brown exterior. I felt like the sound of me biting into the spring roll could be heard by everyone dining outside. Once I got past the crunch, the inside was smooth and filled with various different vegetables. Not only did they add a nice color contrast to the brown exterior, but more crucially, they provided a taste and texture balance. The roll tasted like a combination of many different fried vegetables, with savory tones from the fried crispy outside and bitter tones from the vegetables inside, which provided a complex taste overall. The texture of the food changes from crunchy to soft as you bite into the roll, which provides a nice pleasant feel to each bite. The pad see ew dish featured wide rice noodles with pork and a variety of vegetables. The dish overall looked brown from the noodles and cooked pork, however there are hints of green from the Chinese broccoli. Color aside, the entire dish is covered in oil, which gives it a shiny look to it. After taking a couple bites, I noticed a subtle sweet flavor from the noodles and a salty flavor from the meat. The combination of these flavors with the vegetables created a complex assortment of sweet and salty with every bite. The vegetables didn't really add any flavor, but they mostly contributed to adding a crunchy texture to the soft noodles and meat. The drunken noodle is a similar dish to the pad see ew in spirit, however, there are some very noticeable differences. It appears more lively with a larger assortment of vegetables such as bell peppers, Chinese broccoli, and onions. The entire dish also appears to be covered with oil just as a pad see ew was. The drunken noodle had a very noticeable savory and spicy flavor to it, which made it my favorite out of the two dishes. There were also more contrasting crunchy textures created from the vegetables added to the dish. Also, the dish was very aromatic and smelled just fresh. Overall, I enjoyed every dish I tried. They all had the same crunch and soft texture contrast, but provided their own distinct and wonderful flavors. I couldn't find anything to critique their food on, so I rate their food a 10 out of 10.
Every restaurant utilizes rhetorical strategies to persuade its customers in some shape or form, and Tumeric Thai Garden is no different. They utilize customer service as a way to encourage their patrons to return. When we arrived to the restaurant, we were greeted kindly by the hostess, who quickly showed us our seats on the patio. The weather was cold on that day, and without us even asking, she turned on the outdoor heater for the group. The server came by immediately with drinks, and after taking our orders, checked in on our table often to see how we were doing. These actions by the staff convinced me that they care about their customers, which elevated the dining experience for me. Because the service was so good, I felt like it also had a positive impact on the food as well. I believe that since the servers care about their customers, then the chef must put a lot of care and effort into the food as well. Overall, the great customer service by the staff successfully elevated the entire dining experience, which made me want to definitely return in the future. I was looking at some of the reviews of Tumeric Thai before eating there, and I must say that my experience is very similar to a majority of the reviews. I had to scroll really far down the list to even find a review that wasn't 5 stars. And I just had a very overwhelmingly positive experience, just like all of the reviews on Google. The food was amazing, and it was the best pad see ew and drunken noodles I've ever had. And the atmosphere of the patio was just really tranquil and peaceful. The only aspect I didn't see mentioned in the reviews was the atmosphere of the inside environment, which I felt like could use some improvement. With Tumeric Thai getting a 9 out of 10 in atmosphere and a 10 out of 10 in food, the overall rating for this restaurant is 9.5 out of 10. This has officially become my new favorite Thai food restaurant, and I would highly recommend anyone who is looking for this kind of food or curious in trying Thai food. Alright guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for next week's video, where I'll be going to one of my favorite taco shops in San Diego, Tacos El Gordo.